I had so much fun yesterday making that video while I was kind of talking and I was cooking at the same time that I'm gonna do it again. So, but this time it's a little different. I basically cut up everything already, so I'm just basically waiting for my my ravioli to heat up and cook. I'm gonna throw it in the strainer, cool it for a little bit, and then just put it in the pan, mix, typical pasta, tomato sauce, putting in mushrooms, tomatoes, and a little bit of the Thai chili peppers because spicy pasta is good pasta. And a little bit of whiskey as well because I always used to cook with whiskey. I'm just gonna keep doing that because this didn't really affect my blood pressure yesterday, so I checked, it was 118, so we're good. I kind of want to share a very, very personal story, actually. And most people actually don't know the story. I know I told my best friends the situation, I told my mom the situation, but no one actually knows exactly what transcended and what transpired to the moment where I almost killed myself. So, how do I start something so dramatic? I remember it was back in 2018, and it was a Friday. It was October. I think it was the third week or the fourth week of October, and it was a Friday. The reason why I know it was a Friday is because I remember that I had a date with this girl. Her name was Jenny, that I met online, and she was a nice girl. She was essentially the first girl that I dated after being separated from my previous girlfriend of 10 years in a matter of like 2 weeks, right? Like I met her basically 2 weeks after the separation just because, I'm desperate, I'm lonely. I just wanted to feel some sort of validation again, just some sort of love from somebody else, considering that I was essentially just tossed away, right? And so we had scheduled a date to go to this like weird, unique art museum that was in downtown Seattle. Well, I'm sorry, not downtown Seattle, South Lake Union area. And it was a Friday, and I remember I told her we would meet at around 7 o'clock because that's when the event opened. And we met up at the this Capital One like cafe, and she had already ordered a coffee and blah blah. Anyways, nothing that wasn't the eventful part. So we did the art activity and taking pictures. It was honestly a stupid event. We were there for like 10 minutes and we bounced. And I just told her like, you know what, I'm just gonna go home. I'm not feeling good. But obviously I didn't go home. So what I ended up doing was I ended up going to, at the time they were really, really supportive people. My friend Jamie and Lucas's house, just to kind of just hang out and just to be with somebody because, I didn't want to be alone. Like I just did not want to be alone. I parked my car just basically right in front of their door. And I was just so depressed. I was just like, that feeling where you kind of feel like you have nothing left to live for. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you know what I mean, but it's hard to explain if you've never experienced it before. And so I ended up calling my mom, and I remember the conversation as if it was still yesterday. I was like, sorry, I'm getting emotional here, but it was like, I called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't, I don't want to live anymore. This is so painful. Like you don't understand. Like I can't do this anymore. And my mom was like, I'm so sorry. I mean, that's what's a mom gonna say, right? Like, oh, you'll be okay. But she was like, I'm sorry. Like I wish I was there with you right now. I wish that I could experience this pain for you. That way you don't have to experience it. And I'm just like, I know, Mom, I know. And I'm like, I'm sorry that I have to call you again because, this is not something this is exactly what I said. I'm like, this is not something you want to hear considering that, you have other people in your lives who are also dealing with their own shit as well, right? And I know you're dealing with your own problems. And I'm so sorry that I have to put my problems onto you because I know you're dealing with a lot already. And the fact that I was, 1,300 miles away. I'm originally from LA. My family's from, sorry, God damn it. Yeah, my family's in LA. I'm living in Washington because that's where I essentially had made my life, right? So after talking to my mom for about 10 to 15 minutes, just trying to just explain to her just like the feelings I was having. I'm like, you know what, Mom, I'm just gonna hang up or I'm just gonna go. I'm here with my friends at a friend's house right now. I'm just gonna go just hang out with them for a little bit. And so I did. Obviously, wipe the tears away, right? Put on a happy face. Hey, what's up, guys? It's good to see you. And they were just kind of. This was at the time where I used to go over every weekend, or at least just the last two Fridays, just to kind of hang out with them, and because they were pretty much my only friends I had in Seattle at the time. I mean, the fact that I was living in Seattle for a year, and we'll say about a year, I didn't really have friends other than my ex-girlfriend's friends who were from the MBA program at the UMich University of Michigan MBA program, who had jobs here in Seattle. But obviously it just didn't feel right hanging out with them, even though they are cool people. I still hang out with like at least one of them, or sort of. I went to their house, they were playing Mario Kart, and it was so weird where I felt like I couldn't honestly have fun. And this is kind of one of those weird moments where it's like you felt like you didn't deserve to have fun. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, or if you know exactly what I mean, where it's like you're there, you're supposed to be a good time, you're with good company, but in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't deserve to be happy. I don't, why am I here? Why I don't deserve to be happy? Weird, I know. Anyways, sip. Anyways, I just like, hey guys, I'm just gonna kind of go home early. And I did. The whole time I'm just like feeling like shit. I'm just like, I don't want to live. Like, I can't do this. What's the point of life? Like, life, I mean, there's some stories behind it. I mean, I was already kind of unhappy with my life before, where I kind of felt like there was no meaning in life anymore. My life had essentially served its purpose, meaning like the things that I saw myself doing was like, you wake up, you go to work, you do your duties, you come home, you cook dinner for the family, in this case, my ex-girlfriend. We eat together, we watch TV, and then she goes off to do some more work while I just do my thing, right? I either go to the gym and just exercise or play some basketball, or I just go play video games, or just do something that in my time, or at that time, it didn't feel productive, And co-founding the fact that when me and my ex-girlfriend split, I mean, we were together for almost 10 years. That basically was a tipping point where I was like, what do I have, what do I have left to live for? And so that was pretty much going on just the entire time, just on the ride back. I'm just like, what's the point? Like, life is not going to get better. I'm just going to continue to do the same shit I'm doing now. I'm still a PT, and what is the point? Like, life had no meaning for me anymore. And the person that I thought was the love of my life basically backstabbed the shit out of me. I had nothing left to live for. And so I remember there was this the same night, I got home, parked my car, I got my dog. And what ended up happening is I went upstairs to just kind of walk my dog, right? Take her to the dog park. I can't think. The doggy like release area, right, at the 7th floor of our apartment building. And so at one point I was just kind of staring. And I'll be honest, I was a little high. I think I don't know how much I smoked, but I was a little high. And so what I ended up doing is I stopped, I climbed over the fence of the doggy area, and I just stood over the edge for a good at least minute. I swear to God, I was just staring there, and obviously I was nervous, I was like, am I really gonna do this? And I was standing over the edge, right? Just kind of just looking down. I mean, 7th floor isn't technically that high, but obviously it looked high. I mean, maybe I would have broken my legs, if anything. I don't know if I would have died. But do you remember watching Titanic? Where Rose, the main character, right? Her name was Rose something, and she was at the I don't know the names of boats, the back side of the boat. She was just hanging over there, contemplating her own life, right? That's essentially what I kind of felt like. And when DiCaprio's character came, Jack, obviously he saved her, he pulled her out, but it wasn't necessarily that part. It was that part where they were having a conversation, and Rose was like,
I know what you must be thinking. Poor little rich girl. What does she know about misery?
No, that's not what I was thinking. What I was thinking was, what could have happened to this girl to make her think she had no way out?
oh, look at me, like, what do you know about sadness or something? Like, you look at me and like, oh, poor little rich girl, you know, what, you have everything, you have money, what do you have to live for? Or some shit like that, right? And DiCaprio's character was like, no, I didn't see that in you. I didn't see this rich girl. All I saw was what led this person to feel like they had no other way out. And I'm like, shit, you know, that's essentially what it feels like. So I just want to clarify something, okay? It's like to understand the suicidal mindset, it's important to understand that we're not, some people will say they're doing it to get attention, but it is attention. It's essentially a call for help. Like, hey, I need help. You know what I mean? Fuck. Let me do this for a second, hold on, because I'm gonna burn the Thai chili peppers, hold on. Mimi, no. Okay, where was I? The mind of a suicidal person is basically when they're attempting it, they're doing it, and they're telling people like, hey guys, I'm so suicidal. By the way, if you don't know the signs of suicide, one is basically just a sudden, how do I explain this? A sudden lack of feeling good of the things that used to make you happy, right? So things like playing basketball for me, snowboarding, interacting with these people now, but things like that where it's like the things that I used to love doing no longer brought pleasure to me. That's when you know, shit, something's wrong. Another big sign is all of a sudden like a withdrawal, right? Like the people, let's say, that you hang out with who are suddenly just like, they're just constantly just denying all of your invites. They don't want to hang out with you anymore. They don't want to, they're just off. They're not picking up your phone calls. And just, if you do have someone like that you know, please continue to call them. Trust me, they're not doing this on purpose. They're dealing with their own shit that it's hard for them to pick up the phone and say, hey, let's see, because you have to put on a happy face, right? Sometimes you don't want to show that you're sad. You want to be a good company for people. At least that's how I felt. Like, I'm good, I'm happy, but deep down you're like, I'm dying. Like and the other sign is basically if I start giving you my stuff, I'm like, Mom, here's the rest of my money. Patrick, here's my computer or whatever. That's a sign, okay? It means like I am gonna do it. I'm just gonna give my shit away. I don't care anymore. And so to understand the mind of someone who is pushed to that brink, you have to realize is that what we experience it is a cry for attention, one, but two, it's a sense of feeling like there's nothing left to live for. And this may be hard for a lot of people to realize is that you think some people think, oh, just snap out of it. You're just depressed. You're feeling sad. Like, no, it's not. I've what's it called? I've analyzed my situation, at least for the time being, right? We don't look that far forward ahead. Always see it to now. The pain that we're experiencing now, where it's like, we don't want to deal with it anymore. It's painful. Like when I was at that pinnacle moment where all I had to do was take one more step and I'm fucking done. We just want the pain to stop. Sorry. That pain of feeling like, there's nothing left to live for. Life felt hopeless, meaningless. And when you get to the stage of hopeless, that is really bad. Because it's I don't know how to describe the feeling of hopelessness if you've never experienced it before. It's kind of like there's nothing left to look forward to anymore in life. Like again, for those of you who don't know, I've been to like 60 different countries. I've experienced Michelin star restaurants. I've experienced what you would consider the good life. I experienced that, but even then that didn't bring me happiness. That didn't bring me joy, And so even that, I was like, what is the point that I've lived life? I went to all those fancy countries. I've experienced eating good restaurants. What is there to live for? I'm 34 years old. At the time I was 34 years old. I'm in my mid-30s. I'm never gonna find another great partner anymore. What's the point of living? And so going back to the present time, my dog was just barking, not really barking. I guess she was just doing her thing, And I was maybe about 15 feet away from her. It's a gated dog relief area. And I was just standing there at the end, just thinking about it. It's like, the pain, the agony, the anguish, the feelings of hopelessness can all just go away. Do I believe in God? No. In my opinion, when you die, you go to sleep, your mind just blanks, and that's it. There's nothing. I could end it all right now. Again, what's the point? I don't have anything to live for. I'm just a sad, pathetic, lonely, I've been here for a year. I have no fucking friends. I'm a loser. I just felt like a loser. I wanted to be those, like people who just had a lot of friends. I wanted to be that charismatic person. I wanted to just have people in my life that actually cared about me. And you could say, okay, yeah, you're alone in Seattle. Why don't you just go back to LA? Technically, that is true. But understand that it didn't matter if I went back to LA, where I had friends, I had family. It didn't matter. Because in the end, they're living their own lives. I can't, my friends are living their own lives. My family living their own lives. I can't just rely on them for forever until I hit 60 and 70 and, is that it? Like 25 years of just that? And I just want to say, looking back now, actually, I'm glad that I didn't go back to LA, because allowing me to live here on my own, fast forward now, I got a chance to really, really learn about myself and figure out the things that I've wanted to do. And I got a chance to really experience everything. The pain, the isolation, the loneliness, all that. I'll fast forward, talk about that again, but all of that was needed. You could call it God, you could call it the universe, you could call it some sort of fucking entity. But that was what was needed to help me become the person that I am today. And so, I didn't want to go back to LA because that essentially was me running away and not facing my problems head on. It was saying, you know what, I'm just gonna tail my fucking tail and go back because that's what losers do. We run away, they retreat, right? I stood there again, and then I'm sorry, I know I've said this, I stood there 4 times, 5 times, but okay, last time. I stood there, and I started thinking about my mom. She was the first person that I thought about where I'm like, how would my mom feel if she knew that I did it? And I just couldn't picture, I seriously just pictured her crying and, I know what suicide can do to families, and I didn't want to do that to my mom. That's all I thought about. I didn't think about, my friend. Maybe, of course, like, oh my God, I can't believe he's gone. But it's your parents that are they feel it the most. My dad probably wouldn't even have known if I killed myself, to be honest, because I love you, Dad, but you kind of suck. You don't call me. You never reach out to me. Like, I'm always the one reaching out to you. Like, you're supposed to be my dad. So, and then I just started thinking about my ex, and I just told myself, like, you know what? No, you're not worth it. You're not worth it. And that's when it just took a while, but I said, you know what? This is where I'm gonna make changes. I'm not gonna let you, meaning my ex-girlfriend, I'm not gonna let you be the end of me. Okay? I'm gonna become a better person. I'm gonna show you that you fucked up and that you were missing out and that you made the wrong decision. That was the time, right? Looking back now, it's like, no, that's not the point, right? Like, she's not gonna care how I do, whether or not I succeed or when I fail. She's living her own life now. You know what I mean? But at the time, that's what you want. You want to like show them, like, yeah. And so I stepped back, I stepped off that ledge, got my dog, went back downstairs, and just really started contemplating my life. I didn't know what I want to do yet. It's not as simple as a light bulb, right? It's not as simple as a light bulb that flicks and says, I figured out the answer. No. It's literally one step, one day at a time. One day at a time. It's like that one song, right? From One Republic. If you haven't seen my top favorite 5 songs that pick me up, it's that One Republic song. At the time, I didn't really have that song, but it's just, what's the song? How does the song go? For with what we have, I promise you that we'll just keep marching on, just one foot right in front of the other. And so all of these little things just started happening in my life where it got better over time. And honestly, for those of you who are suffering through a breakup, I actually want to talk about that next time. God, I want to talk about a lot of things. But especially if you're going through a tough time right now, understand that it really is time. Time, I promise you, will heal everything. But it's what you do with that time as well that's going to be worthwhile, okay? Don't just, wallow in pity. Don't wallow in regret. You're allowed to do that. I'll say that because I've had my fucking fair share of doing that for like 5 months, 6 months, on and off, where I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world, to, oh my God, why am I back here again? I thought I conquered that. You're going to experience roller coasters up and down. I guarantee it. And the one, I guess point being is just fast forward to, when did this happen? Yeah, fast forward to a year and a half. Today is April 23rd, April 24th, somewhere around there. I can't keep track of the dates. I am honestly glad that I experienced that. It was one of those things where I needed to be slapped in the face. I mean, rhetorically speaking, right? To just tell myself, like, you know what? There is more to life, actually, than just, like, I don't even know how to describe it. My worldview now is so completely different than what it was 2 years ago when I was in that relationship. I all of a sudden, how do I explain it? Like when I told you that, that moment where it's like you go home, you come to work, you cook, clean, watch TV, rinse and repeat. Technically, I still do that now, but all of a sudden I have a goal in mind. Like, I want to do stuff, right? In this case, initially I want to be a motivational speaker, right? Who doesn't want to be a motivational speaker when you've experienced something like this? Because that's what everyone does. Everyone who's experienced some sort of traumatic experience wants to be like, I can motivate you. I can teach you to be a better person. Just buy my program for $9.99. Buy it now and you save half off, right? Some shit like that. Initially, that's what I want to do. I want to share my story. I want to share my experiences. And then all of a sudden, that kind of, that's when I joined like Toastmasters group. I joined things that will help improve my public speaking because, one, I never considered myself to be a very good speaker at all. I used to be very shy. I used to be very timid. I was a very introverted person. And above all, I used to have zero self-confidence in myself. But now, looking back now, I am almost a complete opposite. I feel like I am a much better speaker. I am a fantastic communicator. I have confidence in myself now, actually, because one, I stopped giving a shit what other people think about me. And I was able to bridge and surpass those gaps where it's called the inferiority complex, where you kind of felt like you weren't good enough, the imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it. I was able to manage to learn and step over that. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of things that happened in those, from October 2nd to when, October 2nd was the day I found out that my girlfriend cheated on me, to now, a year and a half later. Would I take it all back? Meaning, would I go back in time and change anything? And like, the answer is no. No, I would not, because I am, again, through all of those struggles, through all of those experiences that you are going to face, which you will face, you are going to experience hardships. You are going to experience challenges, trials. You want to give up. You're going to want to give up. You're going to feel like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. Yes, you can do this. You can't do this. Just keep pushing yourself forward, okay? And understand that all of these things that you're experiencing is meant for you to learn and grow from all of these negative experiences, right? So let's say you got cheated on, you lost your job, your family left you. Yeah, it sucks, it fucking sucks. But, you have to experience these negative emotions, these negative things, because that's the only way you, my friend, is going to learn and become a better person, right? How do we strengthen our muscles? Through fucking pain, right? We exercise. Our bodies have to go through stress in order for us to improve and grow to be a better person, right? And I experienced all that. And I told myself, one of the things, sorry, I'm blabbering a little bit, but I'm in a fucking zone. Okay, I'm in a flow. Whatever, what's it called? White man can't jump. I'm in a zone, man. Whatever. God, I lost my train of thought. It's that the main thing is you have to understand yourself, okay? Why are you experiencing these emotions, okay? If you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling depressed because of some situation that's happened, great. Don't go out there and complain to your friend and say my fucking boss is a dick, or this person cut me off, or my life is not going anywhere. Understand why those things happen. And if your boss is a dick for no apparent reason other than because he's an asshole, that's okay. Understand that, okay, if he's being an asshole to me, that is a way to reframe your mind and say, you know what, then I will practice patience, right? I'm going to take the high road. I'm going to be a mature person, be a better person. Say, you know what, I'm not going to respond and take his negativity and affect my mood. Granted, I'm just talking. No, I'm 100% serious. If someone's mean to you, someone's a jerk to you, that's on them. That's on them. It's up to you to respond if you want to take that as, God, maybe he's right. Maybe I am such a loser. I can't get things done. That's on you. Straight up. You could choose to say, you know what? No, he's not right. I am a better person than what he's telling me. I am not this slacker or whatever. If you are slacker, then prove him wrong, right? Use those opportunities to teach you how to be a better person. So in my case, when I was feeling lonely, and basically we'll start with loneliness, for example, okay? I did something about it. I told myself, you know what? I am not going to be this shy, this timid, introverted, unconfident person anymore. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to teach myself how to be a better communicator. How can I approach pretty much anyone I want to and just have a good conversation? If they don't want to have a conversation, that's their problem. I mean, that's how online dating is now, right? Where it's I text people, they don't respond. That's on them. They can be a dick about it. I don't care. It doesn't affect me anymore, right? Don't take it personally. That's the other one. Don't take it personally, okay? You can't control how these other people are going to respond to you. But you can control how you're going to interpret those responses. You can control how you're going to, how are you going to interpret everything in your mind. So take that with a grain of salt, okay? I figured out my loneliness problem by going out there, joining meetup groups, and I sucked at conversations before, but now I'm good at it. Okay, any meetup group I go to, I'm pretty much almost talking to every single person without even thinking about it. If they don't know how to communicate, I will try to jump in and help them out, meaning I'm going to continue the conversation until I get bored because they're not a fun person because they don't know how to talk. That's their fault. So things like that, okay? And so yeah, I'm sorry, this is another half an hour episode of cooking with me, and not really cooking, I'm just talking. But I want to share this story because this is something that most of my friends, most of my family, and actually pretty much most people don't know of what happened. They know that I attempted it, but they don't really know exactly the road that I experienced to the moment that I actually stepped over that ledge and basically stood there, which felt like forever, to the point where one small step could have meant life or death. So thanks for listening. I know this was kind of dramatic and I did get emotional because it meant a lot to me. So in this last thing, if you have friends who are kind of experiencing a down point in their life, they're feeling depressed, don't ignore them. Okay, if you really were their friend, if you really were their family member, you would try your best to really help them get through it. And don't be afraid of like, I don't know what to say, it's gonna make me feel awkward. If that's the case, then you're an asshole of a friend. You know, be there for them. Just be like, hey man, you know what? If you need to talk anytime, you call me. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. I've had my friends like Patrick, John, Nabiha. I'm calling you guys out right now. Henry. These were basically the 4 staples, and obviously my mom. 5 staples in my life at that time where no matter what, I called them and I said, guys, I'm so sorry that I'm calling you again. But they didn't care. They were there for me no matter what, you know? And that's what a friend should be. That's what family members should be. Doesn't matter what time, it doesn't matter what they're doing. If they're working, obviously, you know, but it doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m, 3 a.m, weekend, Friday, Monday. Those are what good friends are for. And so I hope that you do, I hope that we all have friends like that, because I am so blessed. You know, I've known these people for 20 years and they're pretty much my brothers, my sister, my mom, right? Who, no matter what I'm going through, they will always be there to have my back. So thanks, Patrick, John, Henry, Nabia, and my mom. So take care. I will see you in my next video of whatever it is I feel like talking about that day. Take care.